A few weeks ago, the 3WideRacing Driver Development Series had their first race at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Tonight, it's time for race number 2, and this time we go short track racing at Richmond Raceway. But in this place is known for bumping and banging and gear slamming and grinding, and it's a great place to watch restarts. But tonight, 150 laps around this 3/4 of a mile racetrack. It's gonna be a fun one to watch.
Indeed, so there's nothing better than seeing stock cars out of short track, pretty much where it initiated. After they transitioned from pretty much from dirt tracks to the short tracks, and it always puts on some of the best racing on the NASCAR circuit.
Absolutely. So it just almost completed with qualifying here in Chad Frankenfield. The winner from Charlotte is sitting on pole right now, unless anyone else like Kyle Hanshaw, Richard Lafferty can knock him off. But Frankenfield very, very quick, and the point standings already shaping up to be his race.
Indeed, so leading over by 8 points over second place, Austin Verway. Kevin Giadricic, David A. Wilson, and you can see through the rest of the grid, it's still pretty close within the top 10.
Absolutely. So, again, we only have one round through our belts here, Finian, but not that many races in this series, so you kind of don't have the ability to mess something up. It's really, you have to nail every single event this season. And a guy like Kyle Hanshaw didn't have a great outing at Charlotte, so looking for a much better night, sitting 7th right now in that number 22 KHR Toyota Camry. And Richard Lafferty also out on track, the number 8 car. He is done qualifying. Kevin Giadricic in one of the one sim Toyota Camrys in that 42 car. Finally got a livery on that thing this week, but here he is running right now and has yet to put in a lap time. And now he jumps up to 2nd. So a great qualifying effort for him so far, and we're almost complete with qualifying here.
Indeed, so yeah, just 61 thousandths of a second slower than Chad Frankenfield. So very close between both of them. So we might see a race on our hands between Frankenfield, Giadricic, and even Wilson. He was very close, under a 10th away from the leader.
All right, Kyle Hanshaw still out on the racetrack. He came in a little bit late, didn't have a whole lot of practice, so I think he's really just trying to use this as a little bit of a practice session right now. Obviously, Richmond Raceway, pretty line sensitive, although in recent years, drivers have figured out how to use the high lane a little bit more.
Yeah, and you can see here, Kyle Hanshaw, I think he might be getting rid of that lap, but setting up for the next lap. But yeah, definitely you could try to work around the high lane. It's kind of hard to do, but definitely later in a run when the tires start to wear out, drivers might try to go up there to ease it off on the tires, maybe build some momentum on the straightaways.
Ending the race in first a couple weeks ago. He'll start the race first this week in round number 2. Chad Frankenfield takes the pole here at Richmond Raceway. We'll grid him up and go ready to go racing for 150 laps. And I'm excited. I like short track racing. I like the Xfinity cars. They're big steel bodies. They like to be leaned on, and these things short track race really, really nicely. And we were actually here not too long ago with the Scars Winter Series cars, and that was a pretty good race, although Cam and Rich had a spectacular night there alongside, who was it? It was Chuck Sweeting that had a good night there as well. So I don't believe either of those guys is in the field here tonight, but I do know that that 15 car is going to be really, really hard to beat. Another guy that was doing really well in practice was Kevin Giadricic. David Wilson was also very good. He'll be starting from the 3rd spot. And again, Kyle Hanshaw in that 22 car, starting in 9th place. Not a bad starting spot for him either tonight.
Indeed, just going to have to do a little bit of work to move up to the grid. But there you see track temp on the side of the screen, 82 degrees. So relatively cool, but it could be a lot cooler. Air temp 77, so that might drop as the race goes on.
And we're about 27, give or take 2 or 3 cars, 27 deep field-wise here. So it's a pretty good size for a short track race here, Fanny. And obviously, the more cars you get, the messier it gets at a place like this. We obviously know Bristol gets really messy, especially within the iRacing simulator. So tonight should be a little bit cleaner than that with a fewer less cars, although we only had a couple cautions. Was it 1 or 2 that we had at Charlotte? I think it was just...
Was it 2, maybe 3?
It might have been more than that.
Probably
it was green a lot of the way, so yeah. I don't expect to see a whole lot of yellows tonight here either. But again, my name is Kyle Heyer alongside Finney and DeCuna, and we have a couple awesome things coming up this week. Spec MX-5 goes racing at Virginia International Raceway on the Winding Road Magazine channel. That's on Wednesday night. And that's obviously going to be a really exciting event for us. We have Grid Life and Fuel Racing again tomorrow, simultaneous streams on Tuesday. And then on Thursday, I don't think I've even told you this yet, Finian, but on Thursday, Scars is holding a 1-hour mini Sebring race with the C7DP, the GTEs, and GT3s.
Oh, I didn't realize that was a race. I thought it was a practice session.
And we are going to broadcast it. So,
right.
So that is coming up on Thursday. Then Friday is going to be the Xfinity debut of the Virtual Racing League, and then Saturday, Outsiders Racing League begins. So let's take a quick look at our starting lineup here. I don't think we only get 1 lap here, I believe. So, is it 2? I don't really remember. I think it might be 2.
Might be 2.
Or 1. I don't know. We're about to find out. Field rolls off here, and Frankenfield on the front row, and Wilson in 3rd. Kyle Zimmer in the 25 car sitting in 4th. Great starting spot for that number 25 Ford Mustang here this week as well.
And And moving on back to road number 3, Josh Batista is going to be starting in 5th in the 20 car. Outside of him, Austin Verway in the number 5 Toyota Camry is going to be starting in 6th.
Back in 7th, Chad Brown in the 64 and Frank Sims in the 75 in his Toyota Camry here this week. They'll be rounding out the 7th and 8th spots.
Moving back to row 5, we've got Kyle Hanshaw in 9th, and rounding out the top 10 will be Donovan Smith in 51.
All right, Finian, well, we're about to go racing here tonight. It's going to be
we're not. Basically, I didn't turn off.
Thank you. All right, well, we're going to go racing in one more lap. As you see the rest of the running order rolling across the bottom of your screen. I don't know, what's the threshold for only running one lap? Is it like under a half mile?
I don't know. Usually, yeah, I think probably something like that. I know usually the short tracks will go 2 laps. Phoenix is a weird one. Phoenix should be 2 laps, but there's only 1.
Yeah. Well, another 3/4 of a mile around here, then we'll go racing for 150 laps. Chad Frankenfield in that 15 car is really, really strong. He's going to be a hard one to beat, but don't count out Jadrosich. Had a really strong run last week. I think he finished top 5 or somewhere thereabouts, and he's looking really hungry here tonight. The field, again, to about 27 cars strong. And Austin Derbyshire in the 66 Toyota Camry. A little bit fewer Camrys this week. Excited to see the field diversity up a little bit, but we'll let the rest of the running order disappear here as we come out of turn 4, 150 laps, and Frankenfield takes off immediately. Green flag in the air here in race 2 for the 3-Wide Driver Development Series.
Yeah, 15 wasted no time to step on the gas, immediately shot out to try to take the lead away and clear himself, and everyone else is scrambling for position.
Rocketing off of turn 2 right now. Jadrosich is under attack from the inside, but midfield, there's the 95 car, Robert Hill Jr. He's tucked in behind Kyle Hanshaw. There's someone way up the racetrack in turn 4 is Donovan Smith in the 51.
Yeah, looks like he's trying to chase down the 88 of Rusty Webb ahead of him. He's going to look to his outside and one, and actually going to back off from behind them. They're side by side.
Racing all over the racetrack right now, but Kevin Jadrosich in the 42 did not get a very good start. Got one sliding in the back, got a caution out early here. I think it might be Liam Sheen. No, it's Patrick McCusker in the 43 around in turn 2.
Ooh. Backs it, puts it in the wall in the nose. So let's take a replay to see what happened there.
Did he get any help? Well, he drove in there a little bit hot, and he just gets into the 48. And I believe that's Nathan Velez, and indeed it is. And then the 89, and Brent Miller has nowhere to go, so he gets caught up in that as well.
Yeah, that was a weird one. Almost looks like he aimed for the 48.
I think he just got in there a little hot, maybe locked up the brakes here, Finney. Let's ride on board with the 48, or excuse me, the 89 of Brent Miller.
Let me see. Oh, yeah, locked up the brakes there. So it went in a little too hot, and
63 and Mike Stevens got a piece of that as well.
Yeah, Brent Miller, who we're riding on board there in the 89, he also was involved. A little bit of nose damage to him. We'll see the 43 of...
The 89's got a ton of nose damage, and the 63 does too. Mike Stevens got a whole heck of damage.
Yeah, that's going to be unfortunate for him. He's going to have to sit in the pits for a while to repair that.
Well, speaking of pit stops, Finney, and I don't think the leaders are going to come really early here. Not worth coming. So it looks like we're just going to have the whole field rolling on by, with the exception of cars that were involved. Joshua Adams in the 99 is entering the pit box here. Couple other drivers on pit road. Nathan Velez in the 48. He was the one that got driven into, but his left rear isn't quite as bad as I thought it would have been. So he actually got out of that pretty well, considering he got really driven into there. Mike Stevens in the 63. He might be a little bit worse off here in the number 63 car. But getting that thing repaired as well as he could, the 43 of McCusker, was kind of the meat in the sandwich, and he's going to have to repair a lot of that as well. But working lap 4 here, Frankenfield still out in front, and David Wilson has taken over second place. Josh Batista in third. Kevin Jadrosich slipped to fourth. Kyle Zimmer in fifth. Chad Brown, Austin Verway, Hanshaw, Hill, and Dobbs rounding out your top 10. So a little bit of a wild start here tonight, Finney, and I think locking the brakes, you don't really see that a whole lot, especially with these Xfinity cars. I mean, they're so heavy, it takes a lot to lock up the brakes.
Yeah, indeed. So I think that was just the 43 overshooting the corner, realizing he overshot the corner, and then tried to do everything in his power to slow the car down.
I have a little bit of a theory for that. I think what happened was, you know how the Logitech thing, where if you don't press the brake pedal low in the floor?
Oh, yeah.
I think that's what happened, because it's really difficult to lock up the brakes on these cars. We have a great right front suspension camera we'll get to look at here tonight, and in case the brake rotors get hot as the night falls, we'll be able to take a look at that. But yeah, obviously locking up brakes pretty hard to do with these big 3,500-pound stock cars, so I'm going to assume there's a little bit of a hardware issue there for the 43 of Patrick McCusker.
And speaking of which, he's currently in the pits repairing damage, and he's just going to be having to wait a long time in there. So currently in 28th, out of the 28 guys that started, we got 27 of them still running around the track, all in the lead lap.
I think McCusker will get rolling again here. I think the question is how competitive will that car be, and will he get any of his laps back there? is Liam Sheen in the number 55 Keen's car. It's a good-looking livery on that thing, but in the pits early. Maybe just decided why not. Deep in the field anyway. Might as well throw some Goodyears on it and go again.
Yeah, I think so. Just kind of top up the tank. Just have some fresh tires under his belt. So yeah, still under caution here. Should get the 1 degree next time by.
Yeah, just as we pulled away from that, McCusker started rolling out of pit lane. So it looks like he is going to rejoin the racetrack 2 laps down. Everyone else, the lead 27 cars, are on the lead lap and will still be relatively competitive, with the exception of maybe Brent Miller. He got that nose pretty torn up. Mike Stevens, however, that thing's also pretty beat in. I got to worry about the temperatures on that one as well.
Yeah, I'm sure he's going to have to make sure to keep an eye out for the flashing gauges, because he definitely doesn't want to overheat that car.
All right, Chad Fregenfield was going to choose the outside lane for the restart. Interesting move here, Finney, and I would have thought the inside would have been the place to be.
Yeah, I think he might find it easier just coming out of the corner. It's a little bit straighter on the outside, so I think that's probably his reasoning for taking the outside lane.
Lots of diversity this week in terms of the manufacturers. A lot more Fords, a lot more Toyotas this week, and the Chevrolet stranglehold that they had at Charlotte has disappeared a little bit, but we're going to restart. We had 2 laps before. We're going to try again here, lap number 8. Coming to the restart, the 15 on the outside's a control car. Green flag back in the air.
Yeah, solid start from Frankenfield yet again. He's inside David Wilson, trying to also keep up with him.
This is a big gaggle of cars. Austin Verway's in the middle of that. Chad Brown, Kyle Hanshaw, Robert Hill, they're all in the middle of it. Rusty Webb, Frank Sims in the number 75, that orange and white car, having a decent run so far tonight, and hopefully he can repeat what he did a couple weeks ago at Charlotte. But so far, so good on the restart.
The top 4 all nice and organized. Still a battle going on for 5th place.
That's Austin Verway on the inside of the 25 of Kyle Zimmer, and the 5's going to nose ahead here in the middle of the corner and might clear him, not quite out of turn 2.
Oh yeah, Verway gets a little bit loose, lost some momentum, and Zimmer still battling on the outside. And you see Robert Hill in the 95 also trying to take away 6th place from the 25.
Still battling now. The 25 is in 7th place, was in 5th a minute ago. That's how quick they gang up on you. Is pretty impressive. Dave Hunt in the 53 was losing a couple spots, so he's having some internet issues there as well. Oh, we got one on the apron. I believe that was Liam Sheen. Way down off the pace.
Yeah, it's a lap down, so not sure what happened to his car.
Sheen's got some trouble here early. The rest of the pack really racy here throughout the middle of the field. We mentioned Lafferty, Joshua Adams, Dylan Hickey, Dave Hunt all in this battle. Brandon Klusterhuis in the 94 rebounded amazingly after a big crash last week at a couple weeks ago at Charlotte. And so far he's got a long way left to go to get himself back to where he was, but currently running 16th.
Yeah, it's 14 in the points too, so a little bit of a hole. He wants to try to finish up further up the standings.
Whoa! 3 contact there. Yep. Oh man, that blue car in the middle that's who was that? The 38 car of Cody Wright. There had some contact with one of those vehicles there.
Yeah, the 53 also was on the apron, so everyone trying to get themselves sorted out. Dave Hunt.
I think he's got some issues with his internet right now. I think he probably got told to get out of the way. It's going to be my guess. Don't think that was by his choice. Still 3 wide in the middle of the, or actually this is towards the rear of the field now, but everyone just trying to find their line, get settled in here for the long run. Still a ways to go. There's the 66 of Austin Derbyshire back there, another one of those one sim Toyota Camrys. There's a battle right now, Donovan Smith and Chad Brown at 64.
Yeah, that's the 51 to the inside of Chad Brown. Chad Brown trying to hold the outside, and here comes the 22 now of Kyle Hanshaw trying to pick up a place.
64 crosses over, and Hanshaw's going to look to the outside. Maybe he'll try to cross him over on corner exit. Long corners here at Richmond, so you can really plan out your attack on these. It's not like Bristol where you're kind of stuck to the line you started when you enter the corner.
Yeah, you definitely have a lot more room to play around. Now you see Hanshaw trying the outside and trying to pinch down the 64 to the inside. So different runs trying to...
Oh, he's in the fence!
Hanshaw hard on the wall.
Oh, bounced off it and hit the 88 of Rusty Webb there as well. So a little bit of contact.
Yeah, that's a risk here too. Just the way the nature of the corner, especially coming out of 2. You think you can step on the gas a lot earlier than you can. And I think by the time he realized he was on the wall, it was too late.
Yeah, here's a look at the replay out of turn 2. Oh, just gets to the end of the safer barrier there, and I think he got involved with the 88 as well. So a little bit of contact, but it shouldn't hurt the car too bad. Aero's not that important around here.
Really, the main part is just worrying about the handling. If he dented the wheel in, messed with the wheel geometry. So if he can keep that good, he should be fine in 10th place. Rusty Webb also looks like he's fine right behind him in 11th.
Whoa! 2nd place, Josh Batista almost lost it out of turn number 2, chasing down Frankenfield. And they were actually, the 20 car was a little bit quicker last time by, but obviously that's not going to be the case after that slip.
No, indeed it isn't. I almost saw the splitter go on the ground as Hardy was turning, trying to keep the car going straight. But behind him, David Wilson fell back from second place.
Austin Verwey in the 5 car. He's been moving forward a little bit here tonight. Started in 6th up to 5th now, fighting off Robert Hill Jr. Another one out of control out of turn 2 was Kyle Zimmer. People are really struggling with that corner exit grip out of turn 2.
Yeah, and I think it's part because this track goes from being banked in the, although it's very minor, it's still banged nonetheless in 1 and 2 and 3, 4. But then it comes off the corner onto pretty much flat ground, so the car is really gets loose from that transition off the banking. So I think that's catching these drivers off guard.
Battle for 16, Nathan Velez, Jamie Dobbs, and the M&M's number 77 Camaro. And you see Dylan Hickey, I think he got a piece of the wall out of turn 2 as well. Seems like there's a really weird mix between understeer and oversteer, and I'm not really sure what's causing that.
Yeah, I think it really just has to do with the way these drivers are taking the corner. Ooh, he's sixth in the wall pretty hard there.
Yeah.
I think he's still able to hold on to it. But yeah, I think it has to do with the way these guys are, depending on how these guys are driving, their driving styles. Whether they're entering late or entering hard or exiting hard. I think that's really the difference we're seeing.
Yeah, I think once, if the night falls here a little bit, we might get a chance to see some of the brake inputs, and that really determines, I think if you're on the brakes hard, you're going to get a really good launch out of the corner. If you're carrying more corner speed, you might slow down your exit a little bit. So different strategies here, and I see Frank Sims in the 75 in 20th right now, started back in 8th, so a little bit of a fall downward. You see some right front damage on that orange time.
Yeah, that might be affecting him just a little bit, but it's trying to kind of just find some pace to see the 09 or Rusty Capel go all the way out of line, trying to find some speed up on the high line.
Yeah, and again, you can play around with grooves here a little bit. It's not like any Darlington or anything, but the outside line is, once it gets rubbered in, it's actually not too bad. And I think we see Capel trying to experiment out there early and doesn't have any damage on his car. He's not running too great, so he's just trying to figure out what'll work later.
Looks like we got a battle for third place on our hands. Josh Batista holding off David Wilson.
Battle for second place.
Sorry, second place.
Yeah, Wilson is in third. Kevin Jaddersich, he started up second, lost a couple spots in the initial start, has slid back to fourth, but now closing on this battle for second.
Yeah, so the top three of the top 4 are closing in. The leader, Chad Frankfield, still up ahead of them, but not by quite a lot. Still under a second the gap, but really the battle is for second place between Batista and Wilson, and Jaddersich is for second place.
That 39 is all over Batista's rear bumper here. You see actually a little bit of damage to Wilson's right front fender as well. So a lot of drivers wearing off their fenders early. I think you're going to want that a little bit later in the night to lean on if you need to get a little extra speed.
Yeah, I think turn 2 is catching easy. Again, almost Josh Batista get into the wall, but yeah, a lot of people getting into the turn 2 wall really. Not so much 4, just due to the fact that it curves off of turn 4. It's a lot easier to set up, but turn 2 really is catching a lot of people off guard.
See Jaddersich trying to close in on this gap and maybe take advantage of Wilson while he's tucked in behind. There is a battle for 10th as well, and it's Rusty Webb trying to get around Joshua Adams in the 99, really close out of turn 2, and Webb's been working over the 99 for a couple laps now.
Yeah, indeed, so Adams is going to hold on to that 10th place position. It's a solid night from him so far.
Out up front, it's all Chad Frankenfield up about almost a second, 7/10 of a second on Josh Batista. Now a battle on for 5th place right now, the 95 of Robert Hill Jr. on the inside and Austin Verwey on the outside.
Yeah, and Hill was all over Verwey a few laps ago, so he's really trying to get that position. Was so close that time too, but Verwey is still going to hold on 5th place.
Other battles kind of strewn throughout the field here. There's one going on for 19th place. Look at this. Dylan Hickey, Frank Sims, Rusty Capel, and Mike Stevens. Stevens doing a great job with that front end all torn off on the 63.
Yeah, indeed. So just trying to hold on. At least till we get another caution so we can go in and fix the car more. But yeah, it definitely sucks, especially early in the run, getting damage to that car. You've got to sit with it for another 100 laps.
See, the 75 of Frank Sims had a great run at Charlotte, and looking for more of that tonight. The 6 car in the fence again. Hickey has been just absolutely knocking down the fence in turns 2 and 4. Really struggling with that body armor Mustang.
Yeah, let's do the battle for 9th place. Or there was a battle for 9th place between Joshua Adams and Chad Brown.
Looks like it's kind of fizzled out a little bit. But Chad Brown, is he fallen down? He started 7th, down to 10th, so not a great first stint for that 64 car. But he does have Rusty Webb closing in, and you see Webb really experimenting with that outside lane on corner exit, trying to carry the momentum. There's a 43 car, McCusker, going a lap down, another lap down. That makes it 3. Remember, there is a limit. If you go 11 laps down, you're done. So he's got to make sure he gets up on the wheel and keeps himself in the game.
Yeah, indeed, and he's just kind of right now hoping for a caution so he can fix that car to get it in a raceable state. To make sure he doesn't get more laps.
Ooh.
So you see the 95 lock it up.
Yeah, drags that left front tire. That's not very good for your tire conservation efforts here, Finian. And obviously, we know how important tires are in any kind of stock car racing, but if you're dragging that left front, you get yourself into trouble with those tire temperatures.
Yeah, indeed. So, I mean, also we talked about, although it's not in the game, flat spotting the tires is another thing you would have to look out for. But really, like you said, it's really just a matter of temps and just the general wear of the tires.
Yeah, I mean,
be careful of.
I've heard Dave Kemmer on the forums explicitly state that no one's getting away with anything when it comes to sliding around tires. So we might not have flat spots, but we sure do have accelerated wear when you're dragging that tire. So you can't be doing that just because there's no flat spots. It's going to hurt you. So 95's got to maybe take a breath here. Maybe short calibrate that pedal a little bit and try again to get this 5 here.
Yeah, and I think also you see him trying to run just a lane lower than the 5, trying to be aggressive, and that's also going to trying to find somewhere around the 5 and making some aggressive maneuvers.
He's really wearing out the rear bumper of this 5, though. I think he wants by, Finian. I think he's in a rush.
Indeed, so another guy who wants to get by, Joshua Adams, has moved up quite a few spots.
Yeah, I just got another spot as Zimmer really got super loose out of turn 2.
Yeah, well, when last saw him, he was behind Donovan Smith. You got around him, and now you saw the passing over the 25. So Adams really up into 7. And notably, too, he was one of the drivers that pit in the first 5 laps. And I'm not really saying that helped a lot, but interesting just to note that he made that pit stop and worked his way through the field.
Interesting to note for later, for sure. Austin Verwey still trying to hang on. He slides up the racetrack here a little bit, maybe an experimentation phase, going up a lane or two just to see if there's any grip up there. Batista has actually reeled in Frankenfield a little bit. The gap is now half a second, but Frankenfield just could be managing that distance for now. I don't really think he's pushing too hard. We do have a battle behind this group. And it's Zimmer trying to hold off Donovan Smith, and that 51 is coming here, and Chad Brown right behind.
Oh, and looks like there's a battle for 3rd place going on between David Wilson and Kevin Jadrosich.
Ooh, Jadrosich has caught this group. He's been chasing him down slowly but surely, and now he's finally there. But you know, the saying goes, it's one thing to get to him, a whole other thing to pass him, and struggling here a little bit. But now the 20 of Josh Batista slips up the racetrack, and Wilson's going to get a great run down the front. Straight away, take a look to the inside into turn 1.
Yeah, and so all the way up the track, 2 lanes above, trying to build up a run, and looks like he's going to get a solid run off of 2. Yeah, it's going to put Wilson down behind him. And here comes Jadrosich now trying to make a pass on the outside.
He's going to go right around the outside of the 39, move the 42 up to position number 3. A great pass around turn 3 and 4.
Yeah, then he puts Wilson back in 4th place, Jadrosich up to 3rd, and we'll see if he has anything for Batista. See Batista running almost above the dotted white line.
He's actually the quickest car on the racetrack right now by over 1/10 of a second, so Jadrosich is coming, and I think he just needs to get by that 20, and he could be your leader here in just a couple laps.
Jadrosich turning just a little bit more on exit and he's building up a run here. He's going to have a shot to the inside of Batista. And doesn't actually choose it. I think he knows that Batista's getting better run off the corner. Might try to wait on what he's going to do.
You saw the 20 car get in there pretty hot, though, and slipped up in the middle of the corner, lost a lot of center corner speed. I think Jadrosich is sizing him up, and you see the 43 McCusker now 4 laps down. And continuing to drop spots. But I think this 42 sized him up here, and I think he's going to look to the inside. Here he comes.
Yeah, solid run off of the corner for the 42. He goes to the inside, and now can Batista hold off on the outside on that run on the back straightaway?
They're losing time to Frankenfield while doing this, so they got to get it sorted out quick if they want to chase down this 15 car. And pit stop's looming on the horizon as well.
Indeed, so Jadrosich trying to ike out ahead on entry. Batista's going to get him on exit.
Oh, yeah. Again, that outside lane, you can carry so much more speed up there than you can on the inside, and it's really kind of making the 42 hold that car down and can't unwind the wheel and smash that
Here's a shot, and they see Batista fall in line. It's Jadrosich now up to 2nd place.
Will the 20 car try to come back on the inside? Yes, he will. He'll get the nose in there, but will it be enough to get back by?
I don't think so.
Don't think so.
Yep, and that should be 2nd place for Jadrosich. Yep, there he goes. Clears him to 2nd place. And now David Wilson behind trying to ike it for 3rd place.
So Jadrosich back where he started, and Wilson was in 3rd, so I think everyone's just trying to restore order here from qualifying, it looks like. 20 car, whoa, real close, gets into the fence a little bit, throws some sparks up in the air, but shouldn't be a whole lot of damage to that point. Caution's out. And looks like Liam Sheen, I believe that's down in turn number 1, 4, 1? What turn is that?
I think 3. Looks like turn 3.
Yes, you're right, turn 3. All right. Well, Liam Sheen, he is stuck here, and he's going to have to wait for the whole field to roll by.
He's literally stuck because everyone's so spaced out that he can't find a gap in traffic.
There he goes. pulls on down, and I think he's going to elect to stay out on the racetrack and avoid the penalty. But let's take a look at what happened. Was this all by himself, or did he get some help here, Finian?
Let's see as they head off into 3.
Oh, the 66 of Austin Derbyshire just gets in there and just turns him, and I think there'll be some discussion and disagreement after that one. Just flew in there and
he went in there really hot.
So I think there'll be a little bit of discussion potentially, and we'll ride on board with Derbyshire and get the other side of the story here. But yeah, not much Liam Sheen could have done there. All right, Finian, pit stop's underway. And now we get to see everyone come on down and get 4 tires and fuel. I think it'd be silly not to at this point. And, I mean, they were getting close to a green flag pit stops regardless.
Yeah, dude, I think definitely now is time. I'm sure these guys probably wanted fresh tires to get on. I'm sure they're tired of those worn-out tires, and here they come off of pit road.
All right, well, no major changes here. Actually, the majority of the top 10, really only Zimmer and Smith traded spots. The rest of the top 10 exactly how they came in, so no huge gains or losses there. Chad Fraydenfield's led every lap so far here, Finian. It's hard not to pick him as an obvious favorite.
No, he's been dominant in everything he's driven, especially in the Triple Crown last year in the IndyCar. Absolutely dominated that, and it seems to be the same story here in the developmental series. There's some guys that come along every once in a while that just make it look really easy, and they're guys like Connor Horn from the Virtual Racing League, Eric Mickey from over the SCAR side of things, Greg Evans from Fuel. There's just guys that are just flat out better. And I think Chad Frankenfield is really one of those guys in this series. He's going to be really hard to beat, and I think everyone's going to have to be up on their game to beat him. I think one guy that can, though, is the 42 of Jadrosic. Quicker in the later part of that run. I think he's got something for the 15 in this race. And what's interesting, too, is that was Jadrosic also driving through some guy. He had to get around some drivers and was still faster, so I definitely want to keep an eye on that 42. I think it might be a battle here between the 15 and the 42 coming to the later stages of this race.
All right, well, we've had 2 yellows so far tonight for a total of 8 laps. Going to make it 9 here in a moment. Chad Frankenfield's led every single green flag lap we've had tonight. 47 have been completed, or 46 have been completed. Josh Batista in the 20 is sitting in 3rd place. Lost some ground to the 20, or excuse me, to the 42 on that last run. 150 lap race here tonight. Almost 33% of the way through it here, Finian. Anybody stand out other than those top 2 cars?
I would say probably Batista and Wilson in the 20 and the 39 respectively. Those guys showed like they had a lot of pace, and even now definitely throw in Joshua Adams in the 99. We saw him moving up through the field. Restarted back quite a few positions. Yeah,
he started 14th, so he's gone up 9 spots, and without much help with the yellows either.
Yeah, and he pit also on that first caution too, so that put him around 20th. Drove up through the field up into around 7th place until that caution came out. So now he's in 5th. He's got some pretty good position. I think definitely keep an eye on the 99. He might be able to go out there with a 42 and 15.
I agree with that sentiment there. So we'll have to keep an eye on the 99 of Joshua Adams. And David Wilson in the 39 has been pretty quiet tonight, but we know he's got the pace to go up there and win. We know he likes running the high lane here, so it might not be necessarily weak for him, but maybe when we go to some other racetracks later in the season, you could see him ripping that Larson line and go for something there. Frankenfield in the 15 has had control of this race so far. Kevin Jadrosic is to be on the outside. Remember, on the initial start, he lost a bunch of spots out there, so I don't know if C42 is super thrilled about starting on the outside.
Well, we'll see how good of an eye if he can keep on the 15, trying to time the restart here, but I'm sure Frankenfield is probably going to go immediately as soon as he can. Yep, there you see him jump, green flag back in the air.
Wow, he is wasting no time trying to get every bit he can, and that's going to snooker the rest of the field here as well, because they're going to get bunched up out of turn 4. But so far, so good. We got almost 3 wide there. There's the 2-car. Richard Hines almost stuck it in there. He'll think better of it and run right now in 12th spot. There's Jordan McKeeboy in the 21. Haven't talked a whole lot about him. Another one of those one-sim Toyota Camrys here tonight. And there's the 99 of Adams moving his way into 4th around the inside of David Wilson. Don't think he'll be able to complete that pass, though.
No, just not yet. He's going to have to wait on it quite a bit. But yeah, we see Adams have quite a bit of pace. And here we see Jordan McKeeboy on the inside of Nathan Velez in the 48. And a big checkup.
Yeah, big stack up. Oh, the 63 gets into the 77 of Jamie Dobbs. And somehow
Dobbs saves it, yeah.
Dobbs hangs onto it, but he's going to lose a ton of spots.
Yeah, I'm sure he's probably not going to be too happy with that, losing all those positions.
Here's a guy that's really dropped from the initial start of the race, Kyle Hanshaw. Got into the fence early, didn't think it would affect him too much, but he's back here in 22nd after starting in 9th.
Yeah, He might have tried to fix some damage on that last pit stop, but yeah, I think he probably would have hoped for more.
David Wilson hard in the fence out of turn 2. Big damage.
He's dropping like a fly. Yeah, he's losing a lot of positions right now.
Yeah, and he was one of the guys that I said, you know, he's kind of a dark horse here, but he pounded the wall out of turn 2. But up front here, a little bit of a battle for third. Josh Batista. There's Joshua Adams going for a podium spot here on the inside.
Yeah, we were talking about watching Adams here on this restart. He might have quite a bit of pace. Here he comes now. He just got to clear Batista, then he can chase his way down to the top 2.
20 car pulls back ahead here for the moment, but let's head back. Here's Nathan Velez and the 21 of Jordan McEvoy trading spots for 10th. And you see, that's Rusty Capel in the 09. Took a little bit of paint off the fence out of turn 4.
Yeah, Brandon Kluser, who's right behind him in 14th.
That 94 Mobile 1 sponsor car. Wow, that's Nathan Velez. Big contact out of turn 2 again. And looks like Richard Hines wants to take advantage of it.
Indeed, so looks like 21 is going to get ahead of Velez, and now, yeah, like you said, the 2 of Hines trying to get a position, as well as the 09 of People, so looks like he's ready to fight.
And the 99 not giving up yet on this third spot, has a great run to the inside. The 20 is loose out of turn 2, and Adams will take advantage of that drive off into turn 3. And here comes the 95 of Robert Hill Jr. He's also up in this mix.
And indeed, he's got a good line to the bottom. Wow, Velez almost won on the wall again. Or sorry, that's not Velez, that is...
25 is Zimmer, and Rusty Webb was to his inside, almost got into them alongside the 39 of David Wilson, who continues to drop spots. And wow, Rusty Webb took that for granted out of turn 2. Holy cow.
Yeah, Zimmer looked like he was not ready to let him in.
Caution,
line.
Richard Lafferty in the 8 car spun out at a turn 2, and pretty heavy damage on the right and left front.
Oh, and a car also...
Mike Stevens, the 63.
Yeah, he's really slow, so I'm wondering if he was also involved in this exchange as well. We'll take a look at the replay for that.
And let's see, the 8 car way out of the groove, gets into the fence, and just hooks the 63 into the fence.
And the Dobbs as well.
Yeah, that's so terrible, because Dobbs was up running earlier. Oh, there's more checkup to that. Hold on, let's get another look at this here. So the 63 gets turned, and then watch the 77 comes in here, gets a piece of it. Watch the 51 at the top left of your screen. Wow. That was the 5 car coming on through, Austin Verway. And throttling through this, I don't think he saw the 63 stop.
No, I don't think he did either. I thought he realized that he would have gotten going, but was still stopped.
Now I want to get another look at, from this angle here. Take a look at the 63 of Mike Stevens. Thought he got through here. Nope, gets hooked into the fence, sent back around, gets all 4 tires up off the ground, and then someone scrapes by through here at the last second. Oh, there's the 51 again. And we'll ride on board with the 51. Get another look at that. Donovan Smith. He's following Hanshaw here. Big mess out of turn 2. I just don't... It's almost like people didn't... I guess he got kind of blocked in by the 5 car.
Yeah.
But it's almost like people didn't see the 63 sit in the middle of the track, which you can't blame them. It's a pretty hard car to see. But a little bit of a mix-up here, Finney. It looks like we've had a couple takers and a couple people staying out of the racetrack. Frankenfield, Jadrosich, Hill staying out, and Kluserhoos as well.
Yeah, and those are an interesting group. Well, I think Donovan Smith, I'm actually surprised he's staying out. I was curious if he would pit or not.
Yeah, he's got some pretty heavy right front damage after that.
And from the looks of the guys who pit, we did 39 and the 99 behind, and everyone else on back.
Joshua Adams is going to lose a bunch of spots here after taking some tires. So that run wasn't super long. Actually, let's get take a look here at... There's a 13-lap run.
Oh, Webb also didn't pit either. And I was looking at the pit road delta, and I think Webb and Wilson took 2 tires.
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
So Webb and Wilson in the 88 and the 39 took a 2-tire stop. Everyone, the top 5 have only pitted 1 time. Everyone else has pitted twice or more. Interesting strategies here, Finian.
Yeah, indeed. So yeah, it looks like top 5 are going to stay on the track and continue on. 6 and 7 to have 2 tires. Everyone else is taking 4 in behind. And I'm interested in seeing where the 99 and Joshua Adams, where he's going to end up in this. Because we saw when he came in earlier for a short pit stop, he was able to drive through the field. So I'm curious about his pace with fresh tires.
Let's see if we can get a hold of Kevin Jadrosich in the 42 car here. And we'll talk to him. If he'll... We're just gonna rip him from his team communications. I hope he's not in the middle of talking to somebody, because we're about to upset him here potentially. And all right. Hey, Kevin Jadrosich, it's Kyle from SimTV. You got a copy? Hey, Kevin, it's Kyle. You got a copy? Well, I'm not hearing him. Well, we'll check back. We'll Check back in a little bit. Sorry to bother you, Kevin. We can't hear you on our end, so we'll get back to you in a little bit. Sorry. All right, little technical issues there. Not sure what's happening. I might be on my end. It is. So we'll solve that issue. We'll talk to him a little bit later. He's got to go back green. So, all right. Had my sound device set from the other day. All right, so let's reset this for you. It's going to be Chad Frankenfield taking the outside lane again on the restart. Interesting move, especially we know how good the 42 car is on the restarts here. We'll see if he's got something for him.
Yeah, indeed. So you got a pretty good jump last time through, but I wonder now if Jefferson just kind of is going to anticipate that jump. And also, I'm curious in seeing how he reacts on the restart.
Coming back to the green flag, lap number 61. The 15 car is the control on the left side of your screen, and he is gone. Green flag back in the air here at the 3-Wide Development Series.
He's going to lead everyone else down to turn 1. Behind, Jefferson is going to settle in line.
94 Kluser, who's going backwards pretty quickly.
Yeah, same with the 39 of Wilson. Looks like he's starting to fall off the pace.
Whoa, we got cars spinning in the back here, and it's going to be Brent Miller in the 89 and the 63 of Stevens. Again, the third incident he's been involved in tonight. And he's just been the victim in a lot of these.
Yeah, indeed. And we'll take a look at the replay again to see what caused that.
And this might have happened in front of him here.
Oh, it definitely happened in front of him.
4 wide. The 89 and the 53 got together, and then the 63 had nowhere to go. But, again, that was... what car did I just mention it was? The 89? Yeah. Here's a look at this from up high, and you tell me how this is going to work out well.
And there you see the 53 being middle. Ooh,
oh, he had something definitely wrong, because the 53 was way off the pace that Dave Hunt was. I mean, watch this again. He was way out of the groove, and then just gets hit.
I wonder if he was moving out of the way for his internet.
Potentially, and then the 77 gets on through here. So another car that slid through there just barely was the 55 of Liam Sheen. And we'll get a pretty good look at this. He was in the middle of it on the restart. Right through the middle. And carnage behind him. Liam Sheen's done a great job missing stuff today.
Yeah, he really has.
Other than the one time he got plowed over by the 66. But, all right, let's try to see if we can get Jaddersich again here. We'll try that again. Hey, Kevin, it was our fault last time. You got a copy now?
Yeah, what's up, guys?
There we go. Okay, all right. Well, so far, so good for you. Started second, dropped back a couple spots. Now you're back in second place, but that 15's car is pretty fast. What you going to do to get up there and beat him?
Dude, I don't know. My night's kind of taking a wrong turn. Apparently, I changed lanes before that start, or before the start-finish line just now, so I've got to go to the back. Or not go to the back, but do a drive-through penalty.
Oh, well, that's...
I'm not sure, man.
We'll go back and check that replay for you, Kevin, but we'll let you get back to work, and hopefully that doesn't happen, but I think you're fast enough to get back up there, so good luck out there. We'll see you later.
I appreciate it, man.
All right, well, let's go back and take a look here, Finian. I didn't necessarily see that, but it's possible, I suppose. We have to jump back quite a little ways here.
Yeah, and even if the rule is, you know, even if the guy gets a good enough jump in and you're completely clear, you're still supposed to maintain the line you're in coming to the line.
All right, so yeah, well, let's look from up above here. This is the restart. Watch the orange and black car at the bottom of your screen. Yeah, that was a lane change for me. So that was probably the right call there, but huge implications for the 42's night. That was not what he wanted to see happen. So yeah, he's definitely out of the lane. But the admin's paying attention tonight with the changing lanes. And they did mention that in the driver's meeting. I was around for that. So unfortunately, 42 is going to have to do a drive-through penalty. And that is big news for the 42 of Jaddersich.
Yeah, really unfortunate for him, though. I mean, you can't obviously argue with that. That was pretty cut and dry. But yeah, he's going to have to... and he was saying, too, about serving an EOL. I think he would have been a lot better off serving an EOL, but now he's going to have to do a passer under green. And he's going to probably have to hope for a caution to come on immediately. Yeah, otherwise he's going to lose the lap.
That's a pretty harsh penalty if you have to come down under green here, Finian. So typically it's just an EOL, but that's going to be a big story here if he doesn't get himself back up into the front. So just those little mistakes, you got to be definitely paying attention to the little rules, because those are the ones that are going to get you. There's some cars in the back that are heading onto pit lane, Lafferty, Stevens, and Dobbs, but they're going to just get service probably for crash damage. We'll reset, go again here. And we'll try again.
Yeah, we'll see how this restart's going to play out. and also see how Jared is just going to have to try to pull off pit road. I imagine he's going to do it as soon as he can.
Yeah, my concern, however, is if he's behind everybody, whether or not, later in the race, if we have a couple more yellows, if there's going to be any wreck avoidance issues that he's going to have to drive his way through the field. We've seen a lot of drivers have to miss a lot of wrecks tonight. And the 42 is going to have to be dodging them like dodgeballs here in just a moment. Coming back to the restart, green flag back in the air. The 15 car, Frankenfield, takes him back. And does the 42 do the same thing again? A little bit more careful that time.
Yeah, indeed. He has to wait until the pull up in that gap, but still he has got to serve that penalty as we go through the last field. Still side by side for most of it.
And I'm going to have to assume that 42 car is going to, yeah, he's coming right now. Getting right down to pit lane, give up as little time as possible.
Oosterhuis is now, after he stayed out on that caution right before, is currently running in third, but they see the 42 serving his pit lane penalty.
Yeah, that's a huge, huge story that we're going to have to follow. But Kluser, oh, we got no one spinning. It's the 51 of
and
Donovan
Smith.
It. Somehow saves it, but we're going to have a carnage behind here, Finney, and the rest of the field's going to wad up. And this might be huge if they're yellow flies, but nothing yet. Somehow they kept it all going straight.
Yeah, indeed, that was a very long crash, but I guess no wreck, and you see the 75 get tapped.
Frank Sims, and this is going to be a yellow no, somehow not.
Wow, that was the absolute longest series of crashes I've ever seen without it being a yellow.
Wow, well, that is bad news for the 42 car, because he would have loved to see a caution right then.
Yeah, that would have been a gift to him right there. He would have been able to stay on the lead lap or at least get the wave around, but now he's stuck.
That's the problem, is he's a lap down, and if this race goes green a little bit longer, he's not going to be in the free pass position, so he's going to need to work really, really hard to keep himself in this fight, and hopefully a caution comes out sooner than later. We're all almost halfway done with this race.
Yeah, I mean, at least on the bright side, he's only one lap down. The first car lap down and is right by the leaders. So he can potentially drive his way through them and try to get around Frankenfield to get unlapped himself. Well, it's going to be tolerated.
A little bit of a chaotic restart, but I think now we got it sorted out. Here comes the 21 of McKeevoy on Kyle Zimmer for 10th. And Toyota Camry versus Ford Mustang. Here comes the Camaro. That's the 20 of Josh Batista, who's struggled since the first into this race.
Yeah, he's been struggling to recover, and Batista also stuck back there. I believe he took 4 tires on the last stop. That put him in traffic. And these guys are just trying to go up to kill Zimmer in the wall hard. Yeah,
he's going to lose a couple spots here as well. He pounded that pretty good with the right front. And in comes the 6 car. And that 6 car is Dylan Hickey. It's 1 lap down, so not a pass for position there. But, the 89 of Brent Miller right here in the black and green car, that is for position, as is the 2 of Richard Hines.
Yeah, and all those guys, a lot of these guys are involved in that long series of crashes. Got some damage, especially Richard Hines. He got a big piece of that from 2 different sides.
Let's head back up the road just a little bit. Donovan Smith in the 51 has been bounced off of a couple times tonight. But running in 6th, that car's beaten and banged in every corner, but running pretty well. Brandon Kluster, who's played some strategy, now he's in 5th place, following Rusty Webb in the 88. How about this guy?
Yeah, did a solid job. Again, took 2 tires on that last stop. Is running pretty well compared to Dave Wilson. Wilson took 2 tires, so Webb still running off the position. He's in the 42 again, it's a lap down. He's got the 95 Robert Hill up ahead in 3rd, and then Joshua Adams in 2nd place.
Yeah, how about Adams? You mentioned it earlier. Started 14th.
Oh, he's closing quite a bit too on these last few laps. Closing in about a 10th a lap, so he's on the move now for 1st place.
Yeah, he's caught. I was going to say catching, but he has caught Chad Frankenfield. And he's going to probably be your leader here in a couple laps. Now the question is, where do you go to pass him? Because that 15 car has been locked on that yellow line so far tonight. That seems to be the preferred line. Donovan Smith crashing in turn 3.
Hard in the
big
wall
crash. The 22, the 25, the 89. Big pile up in turn number 3. And they're still crashing. I heard some more sounds after the initial wreck, but we're just saying how this 51 had been torn up quite a bit and was still running well, but that's not going to be the case any longer. And Hanshaw in the 22. What a terrible ending to the night for him.
Yeah, indeed, and we'll take a look at that, or what caused that massive wreck.
He was running alongside the 39 of David Wilson. I wonder if he maybe thought he was clear or came up, but no, the 39.
Ooh.
Contact there in corner exit. Out of control down into turn number 3, and then gets drilled by the 22. The 21 of McKeevoy got caught up in that as well, and the 25 just pile drove everybody after that. How about McKeevoy? Looks like he escaped without too much damage, but Hanshaw, I think, got the worst of that. Let's ride on board with the 22. And thought he could get by it, and just nowhere to go.
Yeah. He thought the 51 was going to stand on the track. They see the 25 also hit him head nose on.
Kind of curious, the 6 car here as well. Dylan Hickey was, remember, he was still a lap down, but here's his view of this. He kind of came into this late and still got a piece of it. Just take a look.
see everyone slow down pretty well. Just navigate through there. And
Oh, the 22 pulled back up onto the racetrack and got a door there, so the 22's got some motor damage as well. So, carnage here at Richmond Raceway. It, I believe, is our third caution of the night, maybe fourth. Fifth. Wow, these things have been flying by. Fifth caution on the night, and a lot of drivers torn up.
Yeah, just after halfway, too.
And a couple strategy changes. Batista stays out. Frankenfield does. How did Batista get the lead?
That is a great question.
I have no idea how he ended up in the lead.
How he stayed in the lead.
Well, I do know one guy that's really happy about that is Kevin Giadersic in the 42. He has gotten the free pass and is back on the lead lap. Well, it's been a wild night here at Richmond Raceway so far, and the sun is setting, and you know how the tempers rise whenever the sun goes down. I don't know if it's a full moon, you can't see it yet, but I do know that the racing has been wild tonight, and Charlotte was relatively green for the most part. This one's been a little messier, but I wonder about the action up front. I think Frankenfield's had the most competition he's had since the start of the race.
Yeah, indeed he has. Could you throw up the pit graphic for the tires?
Oh, yes.
The stints? Oh, Springfield did pit. Okay, I was going to say there's absolutely no way that.
Okay,
that
so
Batista
everyone pit except for the 20 car Batista. I think what he's hoping for is they go a couple laps, another caution comes out, they all get back on the same strategy. It's really just a call to get himself out of the rear of the field.
Yeah, this also might be, again, also looking at late game. I think these guys still got to make, still got to probably pit one more time before they finish.
And we're hearing that Hanshaw is pretty hot and that we should give him an interview. So we'll see if that's a good idea or not here in a moment. But I guess go for it and we'll see what happens. See if we can find him. Might have already bailed on us. I'm not seeing him here, so it looks like he is probably checked out. I was excited for that one. That would have been a fun one. No Kyle Hanshaw left in the Discord. So unfortunately we'll not get a chance to talk to him. Oh, he did. We're going to do it anyway. Hey, Kyle Hanshaw. It's Kyle from SimTV. You got a copy? Hey, Kyle Hanshaw, SimTV. You got a copy? All right, well, not able to contact Kyle Hanshaw there, so maybe we'll try again after the race tonight. Well, 1 to green here, Finito coming back to the restart, and the 20 car is the control on the outside lane, and I don't think this is going to last a whole lot of time here. I think that 15 car is going to roll, but green flag back in the air.
Oh yeah, Batista gets a fantastic start from the rest of the field, and race is on now for second place as the 95 of Robert Hill looking to the outside of Frankenfield, and Joshua Adams to the inside of the 95 trying to get position.
And the 15 down to the inside. Here he comes back for the lead. Not a whole lot of time it's going to take for the 15 of Frankenfield to get this lead back to the inside. A little while ago, they were fighting on equal ground, but now the 20 car on older tires, and he's going to lose several spots here. Robert Hill Jr. in the 95 coming for second, too.
Indeed, Hill down to the inside, and it looks like Josh Adams is going to try to fall in through, and the 95 trying to clear himself. And Batista gets put into the wall. He's going to lose.
Caution, another car is wrecking on the back straight, and more cars around. It's the 53 car again, Dave Hunt. He's been in the fence, and yeah, cautions breeding cautions. This will give us another chance to interview Kyle Hanshaw here, so we'll interview him in just 1 second, but let's quickly take a look at what caused this issue. Oh, it's the 38 car Finney that got in the fence, spun out the 53, and really just a 2-car incident there. But let's talk to Kyle Hanshaw and see what he has to say about that. Hey, Kyle Hanshaw, you got a copy?
What's up, guys?
All right, well, it's been an interesting night so far for you. Weren't running too great, but then that crash happened, and you got caught up in it. What happened there, from your perspective?
I just fell back there for a few laps and got some spots back on that last pit stop, and then made my way up to like the top 10 again. And then just 2 weeks in a row, dumbasses want to just pull stupid shit, and you know, I get caught up in their shit, and it's the result I get. So just I'm tired of it. It's bullshit. I don't care if it's the DD series. I mean, these guys know somewhat how to drive, and they should just respect, you know, the other competitors. But it's just same old shit, different day.
Do you feel like when the caution comes out, people aren't doing a good enough job of slowing down?
Yeah, that was one prime example of last week. But you know, with these cars, when you get up on somebody's ass, it's hard to see, you know, in front of them. But you know, it's just these guys aren't making a good impression in 3 wide so far, and it's definitely showing again.
We lost you there at the end of that. But all right, Kyle. Well, sorry things went that way. Obviously, a bad night for you, but hopefully you can rebound here a little bit. Thanks for talking to us. We'll see you later.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Have a good night.
You too. Obviously, very upset, Kyle Hanshaw there. Yeah. So again, I mean, I think there's some merit to what he's saying. I think tonight's been a frustrating night for a lot of people, and there's been some car-to-car contact. But that's short track racing, Finny, and that just tends to happen. And there's, you know, I think a lot of people get hot after a night of bumping and banging, and I think he's probably right. There are some things drivers could do, but that's the point of the series, is to develop drivers and to learn from the mistakes. I think a lot of people are learning right now.
Yeah, I think that's probably just also a little bit of frustration carrying over from last week as well. You know, coming to 2 weeks in a row when you have a wrecked car, you're definitely not going to be a happy camper, and there you really just saw the frustration coming out from Hanshaw.
Very strong words indeed.
Yeah. Colorful language.
Yeah, very colorful, but as is that, first of all, that 22 car looks great. Great paint scheme he's got on that. His language is as colorful as his car. And he's feeling quite blue, so
I'm
going to quit after that one. All right, well, we've torn up a bunch of race cars tonight, but I do know one guy that has not, and that's that leader. Chad Friggfield led a bunch of laps here tonight. Joshua Adams in the 99. Back up in second place. He's going to be contending for this win. I don't doubt it.
And how about also the 42 Kevin Jedersich with that caution, putting him back in the lead lap, and now also in 11. So this car looks pretty clean, all things considered. Yeah, I don't think it has a look of damage on that car.
Dodged
and
a bullet, I will tell you. Being behind all this and somehow not getting involved in it, he's done a great job.
Yeah, so he's going to find himself back at the front of the field. Potentially, if he can get back up there. He's still got a decent amount of laps to go, and with a few cautions, it might help him gain some positions.
And Jedersich carrying our gyro cam here tonight. We have not really used it a whole lot. Not a ton of banking here at Richmond Raceway, but certainly enough to make the cars corner. And not enough to keep them from running into each other, apparently. But it's been exciting so far tonight. We've seen some bumping and banging. We've seen some spectacular racing up front, but no one's really been able to take the fight to that 15 car just yet. But I know the guy restarting in second is probably the best bet we've had all night in that 99 Chevrolet Camaro.
Yeah, and it looks like, so looking through the field, we got 17 cars on the lead lap, 26 still running on the track.
Sun is setting. Temperature's falling here, Finney, and grip levels go up. So do the tempers. Green flag back in the air here at Richmond.
And you see William Team almost cleared himself in line, but held on to it to avoid getting a penalty. Also, Wilson looked to his inside, wasn't able to get through.
Yeah, Wilson's actually rebounded quite nicely. Got kind of mired in traffic earlier tonight, but he's done a good job getting himself back into the fight. Rusty Webb in the 88 up to 4th now. A little bit of 2 and 3 wide back here, and Jedersich in the middle of it, so he's got to be careful not to get himself caught up in any mess.
Indeed, and a whole gaggle of cars here midfield fighting for position.
How about Rusty Capel in the 09? He's back up here. And the 95 of Robert Hill, he was up as high as 2nd earlier tonight, but has dropped back down to his current running spot of, where did I see him just a minute ago? 11th spot. Car in the fence, this is 75 of Frank Sims. He's 6 laps down and outside 3 wide now with the 20 of Batista trying to work his way back towards the front.
Indeed, they see him 3 wide for a second as they head off into 1.
They'll get themselves sorted out. Big gaggle up in front. Liam Sheen has worked his way back inside the top 10. Great recovery for the 55 as well. He's done a good job after getting spun out earlier in the race off the bumper of the 66. A little bit of rear end damage, but not anything on the nose, and now he's just fighting with Jedersich and Robert Hill for 10.
Yeah, looks like he's struggling just a little bit in that car with handling mid-corner. He let off, trying to turn in a little better. But I think
pass for the lead. Joshua Adams has taken it away while we were talking about Liam Sheen, and that's the first pass for the lead we've seen tonight. Joshua Adams to the top.
Yeah, let's actually see if we can take a replay of that since we missed that.
Yeah, this is down. This almost took a half a lap to conclude here, but this is down in turn number 3, and then gets a great launch out of the corner. Carries it all the way down to turn number 1. I think he just clears him on entry.
Frankenfield gives it him and slots in line.
They wanted to get it back, but didn't want to really push the issue on the outside lane. So the 99 to Joshua Adams to the top of the board, and is your new leader here at Richmond.
Indeed, now we'll see what Frankenfield can do. This is the first time we've seen him in traffic all night long. So we'll see how he's going to handle with that. He's also got the 39 David Wilson, who's also hungry right in behind him in 3rd.
Jedersich up to 10th now, was 11th at the restart, but there's some more battling going on here. Whoa, there's the 6 car of Dylan Hickey. The 53 of Dave Hunt is
Heinz.
somewhere in here.
Heinzel's got into Liam Sheen as they came off forward. Narrowly avoided each other.
And Liam Sheen does have some right front damage, which I didn't see a couple minutes ago, so he's gotten into the fence really recently.
And he's dropping quite a few positions here, just trying to hold on to what he's got.
Yeah, I think he's going to have to come down and fix some of that damage. Ooh, take a look to the inside of Hines. Can't quite get the nose in there. He's been on the receiving end of some left rear contact tonight, so being extra careful. And there is the 21 of Jordan McKeeboy, who's one lap down. And not quite in the free pass position. That has to go to Austin Verway, who's way up the road here in 18th. But McKeeboy has been in and around a lot of accidents tonight, but been unable to get himself back on the lead lap.
Yeah, hopefully with another caution or two, he would be able to do so. But I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get those. To look at these guys are somewhat sorting themselves out.
And Liam Sheen continuing to drop spots down to 14th. Oh, he's in the fence out of turn 2, spinning. And immediately, as he tried to disconnect to save the caution, and he might have done that.
Yeah, no
good thinking. Oh, and caution's going to fly anyway. And not sure what for.
That might have been admin.
I would assume so. But Liam Sheen, I have to give him credit, though. Knew things were going south and tried to prevent the yellow by exiting as quickly as he could have. And the 21, Jordan McKeeboy, watch this. Watch this. Locks up the brakes. Keeps it straight. Got some damage out of it, but yeah, excellent driving, man.
Kept the car going. So solid job by him, and also get a chance to fix that damage.
Well, one guy that didn't want to see that was Joshua Adams. He was starting to pull away, and Jan Frankenfield's going to get a chance to get back at him here on a restart.
Yeah, indeed. So, but I think Adams might have it here. I think he seems to be a little bit faster than Frankenfield. But we'll see now. It looks like everyone's going to be down on pit road to get fresh tires.
So we started off the first 50 laps with really 1 or 2 yellows. We've had 5 since then. And we've had 30 laps of yellow so far out of the 98 that we have completed. So once the sun began to set here, Finney, and it kind of turned up the heat a little bit, and drivers are starting to kind of run out of patience, and I guarantee you that's not going to change anytime soon. I think it's going to get even worse as drivers start to get fed up with each other. And this is short track racing. This is what happens here at Richmond Raceway.
Yeah, indeed, and we'll keep an eye on that on all the action later in these parts of the race, because this is really where it starts to get spicy. But we'll see here. Does anyone dare take 2 tires to try to get themselves up in position? Doesn't look like it.
Well, we'll see. Does the 99 win the race off pit road? It looks like he will, and Jadrsic going to be up, not quite. It looks like he's going to be up some spots, but he'll come out, lose 1 spot to Miller. That's Brent Miller in the 89, and Hill lost a couple spots, but all in all, relatively consistent on pit lane for most of the field tonight. But Joshua Adams will be on the restart. Ooh, did I see the 15 car dropping back?
Oh, no.
And there it is. An EOL penalty.
That's really unfortunate. Yeah, I think that, speeding on pit road, that really sucks for the 15.
Speeding on pit lane for the 40, or excuse me, not for the 42. Ignore that. That's me just not paying attention. The 15 car is the one that had the EOL. But Chad Frankenfield's going to head to the back of the field, and that's a big, big story. We've seen the 42 recover. The only saving grace that he has is that there's only 18 cars on lead lap, but that's not really that small of a number. We only have 50 to go.
Yeah, indeed. He's going to have to work through all of them to try to get back up to the front. That can take a long time, especially if we don't have another caution. He's definitely going to be kicking himself for that one.
Yeah, and we've seen penalties really remove 2 of the 3 cars from contention, and the 42 of Jadrsic is still working his way back from that in 7th place. But Frankenfield, if you're going to make a mistake, you're going to want to do it earlier in the night so that you have a chance to recover, but Frankenfield is not going to have as much time as Jadrsic did.
Yeah, indeed. Speaking of Jadrsic, he's going to cycle out to 7th place on that pit stop, so again, great recovery from his car, and looking at potentially batting for the lead here in a few laps. And
secretly smiling under that helmet because he's going to be in front of that number 15 car, who's been following all night, basically.
Yeah, I mean, but although while Frankenfield's gone to the back, he's kind of got a new challenger, that 99 of Joshua Adams, that he's got to chase down. So he traded one for another, and he's going to have to be now chasing the 99 on this restart.
Yeah, we've had quite a few DNFs here tonight. We started with 28 cars, and we're down to 20 cars running and 18 on the lead lap. So they are dropping like flies right now. Lots of outs and offs at the moment. I know one guy that's very close to being off is that 66 car. He is all torn up. A couple of those cars, Kyle Zimmer, Donovan Smith, Frank Sims, they were removed because of the going over 11 laps down. So once you get past 11 laps down, you're removed from the race. Not much to race for when you're that far down anyway, so that is the call that was made. The 8 car of Richard Lafferty trying to fight back from being involved in some wrecks earlier tonight. Pulls out in front of the 66 with purpose there. That was he was aggressive getting his line back there. So, all right, well, let's line him up back again. We'll try again for less than 50 to go at the restart here. Finian, any predictions for this last little stint?
No, it really could go either way. Either these guys sort themselves out, or it's just a chaos fest to the end here. But pace car's in, and AC Adams get the restart green flag back in the air here.
Great restart. The 99 launches off fantastically. Rusty Webb in 3rd place. He's got Klusterhuis to his inside. How about Chad Brown in the 64 up to 5th? But he's going to push the 42 way up the racetrack, and Jadderson's going to lose a bunch of spots here.
Falls back in line, but he's got John Batista now to his inside. And we saw these guys fighting earlier in the race.
And there's the 15 car way to the inside. Here comes Chad Frankenfield. Gained a couple spots in one corner, up to 13th already.
I tried on board with him for a little bit, try to see how he navigates through this traffic. He's got a big gaggle of cars up ahead of him. And it's really just a matter of where do you go.
A little bit of checkup here. Where does he go? He's going to take the safe route back and down here a little bit. And maybe plan this out a little bit before he goes charging on through here. But the field completely disorderly here as we work our way through lap 104.
Oh, he's going to chuck it up the inside 3 wide as they head off into turn 1.
Oh, does he fit? A little bit of right side contact there with the 2 car of Richard Hines. Not a whole lot of room, but he made it work.
Frankenfield was rotating on the yellow line. That's very dangerous to do here. He can easily hook the car around, but makes the pass work.
Wow, close quarters here for sure, and look who he has found. There is Jaddersich in the orange and black car.
Oh, Batista almost got turned by Chad Brown in the 64. That was close between both of them.
So a little bit of a chaotic restart here as the drivers towards the rear are coming to the front out of turn 2, and the 64, Brown comes over and tries to block the 15, but can't quite get across the nose.
And it looks like Frankenfield's going to be the inside.
Wow.
Oh, Chad Brown and get Batista as well.
Takes 2 spots in one quarter. That 15 car is on a mission right now.
Yeah, now he's caught up to Kevin Jaddersich, and Jaddersich now is going to have to make sure that he doesn't let the 15 get around him. Otherwise, that kind of diminishes his chances of getting the lead of this race.
That field's still kind of chaotic towards the rear of this camera shot here, Finney. Lots of battling 3 wide again for a moment. That's the 5 of Austin Verway. And 18 cars on the lead lap. The only cars that are down laps are Cody Wright in the 38. That blue car is not in this shot, and Austin Darbyshire in the 66 at the rear of that shot there. Jamie Dobbs trying to recover from a wreck earlier tonight. But how about Jaddersich and Chad Frankenfield, the dominant 2 cars in this race? Both had penalties and are both fighting back in 7th and 8th respectively.
Indeed, they are up towards front. Nothing much has changed. Josh Adams has a half-second lead over David Wilson and almost 2-second lead over Robert Hill in 3rd.
All right, well, I'm not sure if we're going to have another chance to do this, so we're going to do it right now. We're going to take you for a sound surge. Saw the pass for position, but not quite done. The 42 wrestled his way back around the outside. And it looks like Jaddersich is going to hang on to that spot for now.
Yeah, he's still defending it with all his life, and they're catching the 89 and the 94 up battling for 6th and 5th. So this is going to be a heated battle now, 4-way battle for 5th.
And just up the road, Brent Miller in the 89. He's been in a couple wrecks today, following Brandon Klusterhuis, who's had a great, clean night so far. I don't want to jinx him, though. He's having a great run in the top 5. Here comes Jadrsic to the outside.
Yeah, it looks like the 89 who's wrestling the car off of 2, so it looks like he's not handling the best of handling cars at the moment. There you see Jadrsic squeeze himself on the outside lane, trying to take away 6th place.
Out up front, though, Joshua Adams continues to lead. We are coming now to what I believe that's, 35 to go?
Yeah.
35 to go at the line. David Wilson second. Caution flies, and it's Jamie who is it? Kevin Jadrsic has spun out. Jadrsic in the 42 around in turn number 1 and 2, and all those spots he had gained back lost in one corner.
Well, I think we definitely know who's involved. Ooh.
Oh, or do we? Here's a look at it. Yeah, we mentioned the 89 was really struggling, just gets into the 42, and around he goes, and everyone does a pretty good job missing this one. But that's really frustrating for the 42 car.
Yeah, indeed. After getting all those spots back, now put back down the order and has to get them again.
Let's look from on board the 15 of Frankenfield. Just slips up mid-corner, and around he goes. That reminds me so much of Kyle Busch and Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s crash here from 2008. That was not very popular then, and I don't think it'll be popular with the 42 car right now. Pit road is a busy place here, Finian.
Yeah, indeed. I think this might be the final stop for a lot of these guys, as we're well within the pit window to get to the end. And now pretty much it's all about tires. You see Kevin Jadrsic staying out. That's a ballsy move.
Gamble there for the 42 of Jadrsic. He'll stay out. The rest of the field comes on in. And now we get to see what the 15 car does. Maybe a 2-tire stop for him.
Well, let's see here. They see Liam Sheen come out. I think everyone's taking 4.
Looks like, yep, the 15's going to take 4 as well. Here comes the 99. Wins the race off pit lane. And, wow, Austin Verwey gained a bunch of spots on that. 6 spots up for him. And Miller, Brent Miller in the 89, looks like he might have taken no tires or 2 tires. We'll take a look. And Miller took...
Verwey took 2, and I think Miller took 4.
Oh, I think he was just farther back in the pit stall, so that's why that didn't quite register right. So anyway, Jadrsic is your leader, and I like this call here, Finian.
The interesting call. I think he figured, might as well take the track position here. Although his tires will be a little bit worn out after him sliding for a bit, so they're going to be a little bit warm, but we'll see how he deals with that as this run goes on.
Can he make it to the end on fuel? Well, he's got 20 laps on the tires. We got 30 to go. He should be able to make it.
I mean, I honestly don't think he would have stayed out if he didn't realize he could make it up to the end on fuel.
Yeah. Well,
but yeah, Joshua Adams and David Wilson behind him have 4 fresh tires, and Verwey has 2 fresh tires, moving himself up into 4th.
Big gamble though for the 42, and I like the call here. He was going to be buried in traffic. We've seen that traffic is a dangerous place tonight, and I like the call here to get himself back in the game. How about Rusty Webb though? That 88 car has had a solid night. The 3WideRacing car. And sitting inside the top 5, Frankenfield in 6th now. He'll restart on the outside lane. It'll be fun to watch him drive around out there. He made up a bunch of ground on that restart the last time when he started towards the rear, but we know how much easier it is to pass the guys in the back. When you get towards the front, they get harder and harder to pass.
Yeah, indeed. So we'll see how Frankfield's going to be able to deal with it. This is going to be a very interesting restart with a guy who led pretty much most of the laps in this race, starting in 6th. Guys up ahead with fresher tires. Austin Verwey with 2 tires, trying to move up the spots. Joshua Adams seems to be the guy dominating the second half of it, and Jadrsic up there in front with no tires. So it's going to be a very interesting restart up ahead.
Well, it's been a short track, to say the least. 8 cautions for 37 laps here tonight, and it's what you expect out of a short track race. But Richmond tends to be, and this is from our experience, I think we've done, how many Richmond races have we done? 2 or 3? 2, I believe. And both of them were extremely clean. I think both of them... Well, I think the VRL one almost went caution-free, and the Scars one did go caution-free.
Oh, no, we did 3.
What was the third one?
Heartland.
Most of them went caution-free. This one has not been caution-free, and
no.
this is typically what you see out of a Bristol or a Martinsville. But Richmond generally is a little bit cleaner. But tonight that's all off. Everyone's going for it and trying to get every last spot they can. We're gonna have 30 laps to go at the line here, and I guarantee you, no one's gonna let up now. It's gonna be fun to watch.
I'm not gonna be surprised if this is not the final caution.
It's not. Cautions breed cautions, as Larry Mack would say. And
here we come to the restart. 42's going to lead him down to green. Where does he go? There he jumps.
Immediately.
And green flag is back in the air here. 30 laps to go at Richmond.
Does he have anything on those old tires to compete with the 99 of Joshua Adams down to turn number 1? Adams has the inside lane, is going to probably clear the 42 here, and yes, he does. Yeah. Joshua Adams right back to the point.
Yeah, I think he probably should have taken the inside in hindsight, that 42, but he's going to have to now defend on the outside with Wilson trying to take away second place. And how about Frankenfield's to restarted in sixth, I believe, is now currently up to fourth.
Yeah, a couple spots gained for him. There's Brent Miller on the outside of the 64, Chad Brown, trying to get some spots back, but Jadricic continues to drop spots. But remember, I don't think he cares that much. He's better off running here than he was. He would have been 17th or 18th, so this is still a good move for him, I think. As long as this doesn't drop too far back, he's still made a good decision.
Yeah, looks like he's falling in line in fourth place.
How about Verwey? Started in fourth, I believe, now back to seventh.
Yeah, and he's also dropping like a rock. Again, took 2 tires. Everyone else around him took 4.
A little bit of a gaggle out of turn number 2. Jamie Dobbs in the middle of it. There is the 6 car of Dylan Hickey. Rusty Capel just up the road battling Robert Hill Jr.
Yeah, Dobbs had an interesting night being involved in, I believe 2 incidents not of his own doing. But is currently trying to rebound up to 12. Almost gets tapped by the 6 of Dylan Hickey.
Yeah, couldn't slide a piece of paper between their quarter panels there for a moment. There's a crossover from the 09 to Rusty Capel. The flames on the nose of that Mustang.
Yeah, it looks like battle going on for fourth place between Rusty Webb and Kevin Jadricic.
And Webb is just having a fantastic night to the inside of the 42. Drives in pretty deep. Oh, gets into the 42. Jadricic is going to spin. Does he save it? The 88 gets tapped as well. Somehow. We don't wad him up. Now we're wadding up.
No, we're not.
Oh, my goodness.
We are still green. Everyone avoiding that.
And that strategy call is toast at this point.
Yeah, I got to feel for Jadricic now. He's getting moved out, got moved out of the way twice. In the same corner, too. And now he's all the way back in 17.
Oh, man. Now, in hindsight, when he should come down and taking tires, he's still getting moved. The 38 car punting him out of the way. That's Cody Wright in the blue car.
Indeed. But yeah, definitely, I mean, I would have probably come down at least taking 2 tires, but
okay, 4 wide. Let's try it. 6 cars in the fence.
Hickey in the wall.
Somehow we didn't pack him up again. These guys are still racing extremely aggressively and taking no prisoners here. The 95 and the 09 have been side by side for almost 10 laps now.
Yeah, indeed, and now the 95 of Robert Hill, who really got put back in the field and hasn't been able to recover since. He's trying to hold on for 8th place right now.
All right, so now that the chaos has calmed down a little bit, Austin Verwey is back up into 5th after all that. Rusty Webb in 6th. Brandon Kluster, who's up to 4th place.
Yeah, solid call by him. He stayed out, or I believe got 2 tires. He played a strategy call earlier to get himself some track position, and that has really paid off the dividends here running in 4th. It's a solid run from the 94.
How about Chad Frankenfield in 3rd after restarting 6th? Right now, he is a little bit slower than the top 2 guys, so he's still got some work to do to get himself back up into the lead. But David Wilson, he's been kind of had an up and down night. Got into the fence, got into the wall, but so far, not too bad sitting in 2nd. But Joshua Adams, 9/10 of a second up the road, leading the race.
Yeah, so someone mentioned in the comments, but it's definitely true. I think this is his race.
Oh, 20 car spinning on the front straight.
Batista's spinning, and it looks like we won't have any caution. He keeps it down on the grass.
Still green. And remember, all the cautions here are admin thrown. I forgot they did that. So this is going to stay green here, but Batista's going to lose a bunch of spots. Let's go back, find out what happened to him. Just got into the fence all by himself out of 4, it looks like.
Yeah, and had a spin to the infield. And really unfortunate for him because he was having a really good day in the first half of this race and now has fallen back.
Austin Verwey is tracking down Brandon Kluster, who's for 4th.
Yeah, interesting that I'm actually kind of surprised he is tracking down because Kluster should have 4 tires compared to Verwey's 2, but Verwey has got the pace right now and is really using that 2-tire call to his advantage.
To the inside, tries to take the nose of that 1-sim Toyota to the inside of Klusterhoos, but can't quite get it. Klusterhoos shuts the door on corner exit. 19 laps to go. Joshua Adams leads by 1.2 seconds.
Here he comes again. Slips on mid-corner. He's going to lose some momentum. And how about Rusty Webb now with a big run?
Does he have anything for him here? One pass that is about to happen here is the 15 of Frankenfield going for 2nd on Wilson. He needs to get clear if he wants to have anything to do with the winning of this race here. He's got to get by the 39 as quick as he can.
Looks like he's struggling to make the pass on the inside, and every time he wastes now, he's losing track position to the 99 to Joshua Adams.
He might need another yellow if he can't quite get by the 39 very quickly. They're now 1.6 seconds back. Now they're side by side again. He needs to get this pass done.
Looks like he's got a better run off for 2 now. Might be able to send it in 3.
39 car rolling that outside really, really well, but the 15 is going to get the better run off. He's just going to use up the 39 on corner exit.
Bullied him out of the way.
And I guess, hey, I mean, you got to go for it. You got to go. So 1.9 seconds is the gap.
That's going to be a tall order.
It's a long way to go here, Finian.
Yeah, it's over a tenth a second to try to chase down Adams, and now it's over 2 seconds. So it's going to be really tough to call here. But I think if we stay green, I think Adams might have it.
15 laps to go. The gap is 2 seconds from the top spot. Joshua Adams to Chad Frankenfield. David Wilson in third. How about this for fourth? Austin Verway trying to chase down Kloos, but Rusty Webb not giving up the idea of a top 5 finish tonight.
No, indeed not. He's shown that he's had the pace here, and he's got the position right in front of him, so I'm sure he's going to do everything in his power that he can to move the 5 out of his way.
And a little bit of right front crinkled on that 88, so he's definitely been in to a couple cars tonight and just trying to carry so much speed off the corner. But Robert Hill Jr. in that 95, he's also had an up and down day. He's been second, he's been 22nd, but right now running in 7th.
And he might also be able to move a few spots here because he's shown that he's had the pace to run in the top 3.
Rusty Capel still trying to chase down Brett Miller in the 89. That's a pretty good battle for 9th place. Frankenfield's losing time here, Finney. He's going to need a caution and a set of tires if he wants to go after Joshua Adams. That gap is continuing to grow here.
Yeah, Adams really setting the pace right now in these closing laps, and I'm sure he wants nothing but he wants nothing to happen, really. I think he wants the race to finish under green as it is.
Well, a first and a second's not a bad way to start the season, so I can't imagine he'd be disappointed. But again, that penalty hugely costly for that 15.
That pretty much cost him the race win there.
Rusty Capel trying to chase down Brett Miller still. How about the 42? He's only been able to recover to 16th here, Finian, and that car is a little torn up now as well.
I'm not surprised why he hasn't been able to move any more than that. That car is pretty much junk at this point. He's got hit by quite a few drivers, and he's got significant rear and right side damage to that car.
Well, battle for 4th is beginning to brew up a little bit more. Kloos, Verway, Webb, and Hill all in a tight group.
Yeah, they're all stacking up on each other, and they got 3.5 seconds up to the 3rd place driver, so it's all pretty much for here. Here you see the 95 to the inside of Rusty Webb in turn 3.
The 5 car carried so much speed into the corner. Verway just threw it in the corner and made it 6 somehow.
And I'm waiting now between all these guys of who's going to use the bumper first, because we're within 10 to go, and it's pretty much fair game at this point.
Jaddersic clears the 21 of McKeevoy for 15th. Again, that's just a night gone sour for Jaddersic.
And back up with this big battle here. Verway still waiting on the 94, and the 95 behind him trying to get around Rusty Webb.
9 laps to go now. Adams up to a 2.8 second lead over Frankenfield. I don't think that 15 car's got enough in the bank to go chase down the 99. But meanwhile, the battle for 4th still hot. Kloos for Verway, Webb, and Hill.
He's going to shove it to the inside. He's going to send it in 3. Move Kloos up the hill.
Chucked it in there. Absolutely threw it into the corner.
Yeah, but lost all his momentum doing so.
Right on board with Austin Verway. Is he using the brakes and how much of it? Yeah, just a little bit of glowing there. Not too bad, though.
Yeah, let's actually go between all 4 of those cars. We're looking at Kloos now in the 94. And a little bit of a glow from him.
Well, Rusty Webb, however. This is on board the 88 car. We'll ride on board here for a second. Down into turn number 1, and he's glowing pretty hot, so he's definitely working over that right front suspension. But Kloos and Verway side by side. Verway's going the long way around now.
Yeah, indeed. He's going to try to hold Kloos to the bottom, try to pinch him in. There you see Verway send it off. Oh, he's going to run high. Can he keep the momentum going?
He's going to have a great run off of turn 4, but it's not going to be enough to clear the 94 just yet.
Here comes Rusty Webb also, and there goes the 95 taking advantage of the side-by-side action.
Fantastic battle for 4th. The 5 car clears. Kloos pulls up in front of the 88, gets denied though. Webb wants that spot too, or he goes up to the outside.
Oh, Webb gets loose though mid-corner. He might lose the spot to the 95 of Hill.
Woo! Clears himself and up against the fence, and the 94 gets really sideways.
Oh, and he gets into Rusty Webb, doesn't spin around.
And will we get a caution? There it is. The caution with 5 to go. That could be the race here, Finian. Probably will be the race.
Yeah, I'm sure Adams wants it to be the race, and the 95 also went around after the fact.
Woo! The 8 car got the piece of that there at the end, but that should be race over here for you. We don't go green with 1 to go here at 3 wide, so and 95 still trying to get turned back around. But this race ends in a little bit of chaos here. Let's take a look. Yeah, actually, I think there was some contact there with the 95 and 94. 94 comes right back across the racetrack, hits the 88, and then the 88 slams into the 95 in turn 1.
Ooh, and then
Rusty Capel got a big piece of that.
Yeah, Rusty Capel trying to get around to that.
Oh, did 88 hit the end of the pit wall?
I don't know if he did or not, but I think that was him just trying to. That was him out of control there and one after getting tapped by the 94.
I'll look from up above here. I think the 95 gets into the rear of the 94, and that's what sends him sideways. Right here, boom, big hit. 94 slips, turns back to the right, hooks the 88, and then no, he just misses the end of the pit wall, but then gets the 95 and just tags him and sends him around. So Rusty Webb will get a top 5 finish out of this. But we're not going to say anything until we get the white flag officially, but Joshua Adams should end up winning this race.
Yeah, indeed. So, yeah, at this point it shouldn't be, because even if we got the one to go next time by, they would not go, and that's the 3-wide policy. So, yeah, I would say Joshua Adams here, as long as nothing happens to him, he should be our race winner right here.
Well, we've had 9 yellows for a total of 40 laps. That's roughly 25% of the race or so. So it's definitely a little bit of a messy one out there tonight. But I know one guy that really liked that was Chad Frankenfield, because after his mistake, he was able to claw his way back forward. If it had stayed green, he would have not have had a chance.
Yeah, indeed. And it looks like, after getting around Wilson, obviously wasn't able to chase down. And I'm sure he probably wished that caution came out maybe 5 laps earlier to be able to go at him, but yeah, looks like Frankfield's going to finish in 2nd place.
Well, while we're waiting for the white flag to come out here, we want to thank everybody for coming out to watch the 3WideRacing Driver Development Series. And remember, tomorrow night we do Tuesday night. We do 2 streams in one night with the Fuel Racing League at Bristol this week. And the Grid Life Series is going to be at Road America this week, I believe. So 2 great races on Tuesday night. Wednesday, Spec MX5 Sim Racing Challenge on Winding Road Magazine's YouTube channel to 450,000 subscribers. We'll be calling that alongside our new member, Jarrett Mackey. Not here tonight, obviously, but Jarrett will be with us calling the shots there. And if you haven't hit that big red button, hit that big red button. You'll see a lot of fun stuff coming up the next couple weeks. And the return of the Virtual Racing League Xfinity style on Friday nights. And the Outsiders Racing League, what used to be VRL, will now be on Saturday nights with the Cup cars, just like they'd always been, but with a fantastic schedule that has lots of rolls on it and all sorts of good stuff. More 3-wide action, over 50 events from the 3-wide Racing League being streamed on SimTV this year. But white flag in the air here, Finian, and Joshua Adams in the 99, just a great night for him all around.
Yeah, indeed. So we saw Frankenfield dominate the first half of this race, but after Adams was able to get himself in a solid position, was able to pull up through the field and then take the lead away, and has never looked back since.
And started back in 14th place, did that 99, and he's just done everything he needed to do. He went up there, he passed the 15 car all on his own, no help necessary. Joshua Adams goes to victory lane in race 2 of the 3-wide Racing Driver Development Series. And Chad Frankenfield gives a little congratulatory bump on the rear bumper. Frankenfield comes home in 2nd, David Wilson 3rd, Verway 4th, Rusty Webb a solid top 5 finish for the 88 car. Chad Brown in 6th, Rusty Capel 7th, Brent Miller 8th. Hines 9th, Dobbs 10th. Somehow Jamie Dobbs got a top 10 out of that rough night.
Yeah, I mean, look at that car. That car has seen better days.
All right, well, disappointing finish for the 42. Giadersich comes home in 14th place after having such a promising run and recovering so well. That'll be a bad night for him in hindsight. But Joshua Adams, your winner here tonight. And what a drive this was. I mean,
yeah, he earned this one. He drove up through the field from starting in the back. Restarted around 20th and then drove his way up through the field to get first. Just a solid effort from the 99 car.
Let's take a look at your results. Joshua Adams won the race. Chad Frankenfield 0.2 of a second behind. David Wilson in 3rd. Verway 4th. Rusty Webb 5th. We mentioned the rest of your top 10. Richard Hines he was kind of the meat and a lot of sandwiches tonight, but comes home in 9th place. We mentioned Kevin Giadersich in 14th. McKeevoy rebounds for 15th. Cody Wright was bouncing off a lot of cars tonight. None of his doing. He'll come home in 19th. Derbyshire was involved with the 55 earlier tonight. Interested to see how they work things out as Derbyshire finished 20th. Liam Sheen 21st. So maybe some harsh feelings there after that one. And then the rest of the field there. Kyle Hanshaw obviously disappointed in how his night went and had some strong words for the rest of the field here, Finian. But a great race here at Richmond. We'll be back in a moment with interviews. Stay with us. Welcome back live here to Sim TV. We're here now with 5th place finisher Rusty Webb. Rusty, it was a little bit rusty and dusty out there tonight. Lots of pushing and shoving and lots of cautions, but you worked your way through for a solid top 5 finish. Walk us through your night.
Yeah, I didn't have too bad of a night. I apologize for getting into the 94 there. But, yeah, other than that, it wasn't too bad of a night for me.
I want to hear your opinion a little bit because I know you saw a lot of those incidents go down. How did you feel like the field reacted to the cautions flying? Did you feel like people were slowing up enough, or was it just a product of blind spots and crashes happening in a short amount of time?
You know, I think I was pretty much ahead of all the wrecks. I can't remember actually seeing one, other than towards the end there when that last caution, I think it was a 94. Got into the wall or something and went down and then came back up and tagged me in the left rear going into the corner, and then I tagged I can't remember who it was, 95 I think, in the black car, and yeah, it ruined his night, but I had no control there.
All right, well, solid top 5 finish for Rusty Webb. Rusty, thanks for talking to us, and good luck next week.
Thank you.
All right, next we're going to talk to the 39 of David Wilson, who had a great night. Hey, David Wilson, great night for you. P3 overall, but I'm sure you're wishing you had just a little bit more. It was a good run there.
Yeah, I wish that last caution hadn't come out. I was kind of saving my tires a little bit, but in the end, I don't think I had anything for Chad or Joshua. The guys were pretty quick.
There was a couple times tonight when you kind of got yourself mired back and got your rear bumper beat on a little bit. What do you think led to the urgency? After Charlotte was a relatively clean race, we saw quite a bit of green flag racing. But what do you think led to the rough and tumble we saw tonight?
I don't know. One of the restarts, I was on the outside and I scraped the wall, and then I got put back in, I don't know, 8th or something like that. And then it seemed like I couldn't make any ground up, so I had to be a little bit more aggressive. And I think I got into the 51 Donovan, I think it was. Neither one of us were given in that turn, and I almost spun him, and he kind of doored me to show me that he didn't like it too much. But I don't know. Track position was key, I guess. I really thought we had a top 5 car, so I'm happy with my finish.
All right. Well, thanks for talking to us. It was a great run for you in that 39. We'll see you next week.
All right, thanks, guys.
No problem. All right, next we're going to talk to the number 15 of Chad Frankenfield. Chad, I think as good of a night as it was coming home P2, I think you got to be looking back at that pit road penalty and be kind of disappointed with how that all turned out.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I was just trying to be aggressive. I know Josh. I race with him a lot in the series I run, and I know he's very good on pit road, so I had to be real aggressive. Yeah, it just was too much there. I mean, I think if I thought he was quicker than me, or if I thought I was quicker than him there at the end, I probably would feel a little bit worse about it. But he was definitely the fastest car there at the end. So, yeah, I'm definitely happy with P2.
Yeah, a great points result for you, at least in the point standing. So as we look towards the next races here, I mean, your strategy so far has just been to go out and be super aggressive. But is there a point when you have to be a little bit conservative now that you've built up a little bit of a points lead?
Yeah, I mean, I think, ultimately with these halfway points, similar to stages, I mean, you really, it's almost like you want to go after it in the first half of the race instead of the second half. I mean, once I had those points that I had, I was able to concede and understand, okay, winning isn't the most important thing. Iowa's a good track for sure for me. Another track that can get real loose. I'm hoping the looser the better. And then Dover. I love Dover. I want to be in a good position going to Dega because Dega, anything can happen. So, yeah, it was a good night. Obviously, we maxed out our points other than win. So, anytime you can do that, it's a plus.
All right. Well, Chad Frankenfield comes home in 2nd place. Thanks for talking to us, Chad. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. And now, last but certainly not least, is going to be the 99 of Joshua Adams. Josh, it was a good race all around. You had to fight some pretty fast cars there, but ultimately just ended up being able to drive away with it, even though you had Chad Frankenfield hot on your heels there. Walk us through those closing laps.
Yeah, I knew that if I could get cleared, I was pretty confident I was going to clear I think it was the 20 on the restart, or 42 or somebody on old tires. I figured if I could just get in the clean air, I'd be fine to the end, and I knew kind of Chad was going to be the one to be on my bumper, but never quite got there. I was able to drive.
In the closing stages of a race, when you're the leader, I mean, do you like the restarts because you can get a pretty big jump, or are they kind of a negative because it bunches the field back up on you?
I like the restarts when I'm the leader. When you're not the leader, it's kind of hit or miss, but it seems like there's always a late restart that jumbles everything up and sometimes messes it up, but we didn't have that tonight, so that was
all right. Well, that was Joshua Adams, winner here in race number 2. Thanks for talking to us, Josh. We'll see you next week.
thank you.
All right, that will wrap up the interviews here tonight, Finney. An all-around aggressive race, lots of pushing, shoving, bumping, and banging, and 9 cautions or something thereabouts. So a little bit messy out there, but some of the racing we saw out there tonight was pretty fantastic, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely a lot of side-by-side action for a lot of the guys, and just consistent fighting. So caution side, definitely some great racing out there.
Again, and a disappointment for the 42 of Kevin Jadrosich. Had a solid run tonight. He's going to win some races this season. Yeah. It's just going to be a matter of time and not getting yourself penalties and not getting yourself taken out. I think that's the big key for him going forward. All right, like we said, nothing going on tomorrow night. I might stream Spec MX5 practice depending on how far along my graphics package is. Tuesday night is going to be Fuel Racing League action from Bristol, and it'll be also the Grid Life series from Road America. I'll be streaming Grid Life alongside Brooks Church, and then you'll be Finian will be alongside new member Jarrett Mackey is our other crew member now that has joined the SimTV team part-time, and we'll see you guys on Tuesday night. And then Wednesday is going to be the Washington, D.C. Actually, no, not. It's Spec MX5. I get them all confused here. Spec MX5 from Virginia International Raceway on Winding Road Magazine's YouTube channel to 450,000 subs. I am panicking for that one. Thursday, Scars IMSA this time. It's going to be a 1-hour, little Sebring 12-hour into the night race that they're going to put on. So that'll be a fun one on Thursday. And on Friday, the Virtual Racing League returns Xfinity Style and Outsiders on Saturday. That's what's coming up this week. We'll see you later. Thanks for watching and have a great night.